Hi there, welcome to this tutorial on arrays. In the previous tutorials, we looked at the basics of the array and how to loop around arrays. In this tutorial, let's focus on how you can use 2D arrays. So what really is 2D arrays? A 2D array is an array of an array. So let's just take an example and see. Let's say typical example which is used in case of a 2D array is a matrix. So let's create a simple matrix. I'll remove the previous stuff, little bit of cleanup. So now if you look at this is how you'd create a two-dimensional array. If I make it simpler, the syntax would be something of this kind actually. So you can format it in this way. It makes it easy to read. So when we created an array earlier, the way we created it is int single open bracket close bracket, and we said the name of the array marks is equal to, we said 1, 2, 3. If I want to make this marks a two-dimensional array, this marks is a single dimensional array. If I want to make it a two-dimensional array, then the way I do it is open bracket close bracket, one extra open bracket close bracket, and what we do is we should treat this as one of the elements in an array. So I would say comma this within an open brace and a close brace. So basically this is a two-dimensional array. So this is how you can declare a two-dimensional array in Java. The way you can treat a two-dimensional array is exactly as an array of arrays. So this is basically an array. So such a number of such arrays together is a two-dimensional array. So this is 1, this is 2. I can add in one more such array which can have a different set of values. 4, this can be 5, this can be 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we have a two-dimensional array. So this is one array, this is another array, this is another array. These are all one-dimensional arrays. Now the whole array is actually an array of arrays. So this is why this is called a two-dimensional array. So this is how we declare a two-dimensional array. So if I want to access a value from inside a two-dimensional array, let's say I want to access the value 5. So the way it's accessed is by specifying two things. One is called the row and the other one is called the column. So the way we do it is the row number of a matrix. If I look at this matrix, this particular thing, the row number is, I'll put it in a comment so that it doesn't get. So this is row number 0 and this is row number 1. So this is row number 1, and the way you access it is in terms of rows and columns. As we know from before, the columns are the same. This is column 0, this is column 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So if I want to access the value 5, this value here, so it's in row 1 and it's in column 1. So the way I would say it is matrix row 1 column 1, and I'll do a sys out around it so that I can print it to the output. So let's run this program and see what happens. So you'd see that 5 gets printed to the output. That's basically the 5 here. This is row 1 and column 1. Let's say I want to print the value 6. It's row 1 but the column is column 2. So I would want to say column 2, and now I would print this to the output. So you'd see that the value which is printed in output is 6. So if I want to print the value 1, it's actually row 0 and column 0. So I have to say row 0 and column 0, and I run this program now and you'd see the value 1 printed to the output. So this is basically how you can read the value from a two-dimensional array. You can also set a value. So I can say this 0, 0 is equal to 1000. So this would actually now set 1000 into matrix of 0, 0. So this is how you would assign a value to the to a particular value to one of the elements in a two-dimensional array. So the most important thing to understand is the two-dimensional array is treated as an array of arrays. So the way you can access the two-dimensional array, let's say I want to access the 0th row. So I want to access the array in 0th row. So what I can do is I can say matrix of 0. This is the array in the 0th row. So this whole thing which is present in this is the array. So if I want to print the length of this, let's say, I can do something of this kind. This would print the length of the 0th row of this thing, which is 3. Or if you want to let's say if you want to loop around a one-dimensional array, as we saw earlier, I can say int value. I want to loop around the 0th row. So this is, I can say this out value, and you'd see that it prints 1, 2, and 3. So it prints, sorry, we changed the value to 1000, that's why it's printing the value 1000. If I remove this, and you'd see it prints 1, 2, and 3, which are the values here. 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So these are the values which are printed here. So this array, as we said earlier, 2D array is an array of arrays, and one of the arrays in the 2D array is this. So now if this is how a 2D array is, how do we loop around a 2D array? So the way you can loop around a 2D array is using using two for loops. So what I would do is, first, the higher loop actually is to loop around the rows. So first I would need to loop this, and then, so the type of this is an integer array. So this is like the row 0 is an integer array, row 1 is an integer array. So this is int, so this is array 1 inside the matrix, and now I can loop the other array. So it's now int, I would want to really take the values from array 1. Now I can do a sysout value. You would see that all the values are printed one after the other. So you can see that in the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is printed. So first what we are doing is, this is the looping of the rows. So this is first row, this is 0th row or the first row, this is the row with index 1 or the second row. So first what we are doing is looping around it, and then we are looping the contents of that particular row. So when the program executes, first this would print 1, 2, and 3, that's the content of this row, and then it would go and print the contents of this row. So that's about the 2D arrays, and you can find a lot more details about the 2D array on the website, like the RAG 2D array, and also how you can loop the 2D array on the website. Okay, in the next tutorial, let's go on to more things like sorting and more complicated stuff. Until then, bye. If you like this video, show it by clicking like or commenting or sharing this video. We are creating more videos on varied range of topics as we speak. Subscribe to stay updated. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.